Okay, awesome. We're going. Hey everyone, my name is Jacob Simpson and I am an assistant level designer at Splash Damage. I've been in the gaming industry now for 8 or 9 months, I've completely lost track, and this video is very straightforward and to the point. This is for people who are going into their final year, who are in their final year currently, or who have just graduated and are looking to get a job in the gaming industry. And this is stuff that I basically just wish that I knew. And if I could go back in time, stuff that I would tell myself. So, just a bit of a disclaimer, I'm an assistant. I'm not a Galaxy Brain senior, so I'm not claiming to know everything. You put me in front of anything to do with 3D modelling or VFX, I have no idea, despite doing it for a few years. I know how to place cubes, and I know how to draw maps. That's my job, and that's what I'm decent at. So, the advice that I give, just take it with a pinch of salt. Take what you want to hear and leave what you don't want to know. That's completely up to you. This is just aimed at people who are either a little bit demotivated with game design at the moment, don't know what they want to do for their third year, or have no idea where to start looking for a job in the middle of a pandemic. All three which are equally terrifying, and I've been in all three situations. I won't be going over every single one of them, some I will cover in other videos, but these are just some general points. This is mostly going to be aimed towards being in their final year and just graduating. So, let's get started. Oh, and by the way, it's 29 degrees in Bromley at the moment. I've not even finished unpacking my room, and I'm dying of heat. So if I look like I'm about to pass out, deal with it. So, the first thing that I'm going to be talking about, and some people may think is a little bit controversial, and some people may shudder at the idea of me saying this. Confidence is non-negotiable. You have to be confident in whatever you do in life. This isn't just game design. This is to do with every walk of life imaginable, and I've never had someone who I've helped gain confidence come up to me and say, "Damn, I hate you for making me more confident." Not one person. Because there is absolutely no downfall to being confident in what you do in your life and in your job. So what I mean by this, I'm a big believer that natural talent gets trumped over hard work 10 times out of 10. There are some people out there who are like naturally confident, and a lot of people out there who will look at confident people and say, he's just naturally confident. No, odds are these people have worked on their confidence like any skill in life. 6 years ago, I was the shyest person on the planet. At parties, in discussions, I would never say a word. Now, you can't get me to shut up. It's simple as. Mostly it's because I kept working on this every single day. I'm going to quickly show a clip of me in 2019 giving a presentation with one of my fellow classmates, Lewis Wright, and we were EGX doing a game jam. I was absolutely petrified during this, and I've give loads of presentations. I'm just going to show you now, and then I'll see what I have to say afterwards.
Hello everybody, we are University of Central Lancashire from Preston up in the northwest, and we made Nan Turismo. Wherever it's going. Before I go into what the game is about, I want to talk about the team. First up, we've got Alex Keats, one of our 3D modelers. We've got Simon Ashcroft, who did main blueprints and like mechanics. We've got Lucas Kike, who did environment art and also did level construction. And we've got Adam Kay, who did all the VFX for the game. Lewis Wright, who did more 3D modeling alongside Alex, and finally me, Jacob, who did level design and sound design.
Okay, cool. You've watched the clip? I was horrifically full of anxiety during that moment. The point I'm trying to get is it doesn't matter if you never give a presentation in your life or if you've give hundreds. You will always be anxious. You just always will be. I'm anxious recording this video now. Like, it's how it goes. It's how you deal with that anxiety of giving presentations and talking is what makes you a better speaker. The reason confidence is needed is especially as a designer, if there's an idea I really want to push forward or an idea I seriously disagree with, you need the confidence to back that up. You know, if I'm listening to someone talk about an idea or a project, if they don't sound interested in that, how am I supposed to be interested in it? You know, I don't want to listen to someone who sounds like super morbid about a project. I want someone who's super excited for it. You know, a lot of people feed off the energy that you are giving, and they receive that same energy. If you're really energetic, they might be like, hey, I'm getting gassed up for this idea. If you sound like it's the worst idea on the planet, you know, they're probably not going to care. It's just the harsh reality of it. So, just a few things that I think you could do in your day-to-day life is, like, one, every single day, try and talk to someone you don't really speak to. I don't mean on like Facebook or something, like I mean in person. like in your class. Like, and I know during a pandemic this is hard, so just again, pinch of salt. But like, when you're talking to people in person, go up to someone you don't usually speak to, strike up a conversation. If you're in the shop buying something, whoever's serving you, be like, hey, how's your day been? Like 15-second conversation. Some people find it cringy, but not only it might make their day a little bit better, it makes you getting used to talking to people you don't know. And the final one is, it doesn't matter if it's over Teams or if it's in person. In university especially, this is your prime moment. Get used to giving presentations. You have to get comfortable doing this. If you ever have an idea at work that you want to push forward, how do you think you push that idea forward? You present it to someone, and that's what gets you noticed. So please, work on this more. I'd say it's a borderline necessity. And if you feel like you just crumble talking to people you don't know, baby steps. Just take your time. But you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable environment to get better at this, because it's very easy to fall into a comfort zone. And that's basically point 1. Point 2 is not really game design specific, but please listen to me. Look after yourself. Shower. Go for a walk. I'm not asking people in game design to look like Brad Pitt or Hugh Jackman or like anything along that walk of life. What I am asking people to do is to shower, wear deodorant, get some new clothes, get a haircut, trim yourself. Like, I can't grow a beard and I look horrible trying to, so I just get rid of it, It's like saying, like, I'm by no walk of life like some, like, muscle man, but, like, I just make sure that I'm, like, in a good mindset. Going for, like, a 45-minute walk every day will do more wonders than you can imagine. It will clear your head, go to the park, get some sunlight, go back to your desk, do some game design. A lot of the times, if you feel like you're losing motivation, a lot of the motivation that comes from like game design also comes from what you're doing in your day-to-day life. Like if you've got a bad sleeping pattern, if you're eating bad, if you're not doing any exercise at all, what do you think your mind feeds off? Exactly. It feeds off all of them bad habits. So try and get that in order, put yourself a plan. Which kind of leads to the next point. And I was horrible for this in university. This is why I'm saying I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, 9 till 5 isn't optional. That's the real world. So when you're in university, and yes, I understand, people who have part-time jobs, like myself, I was a barman and a cocktail barman, it's a bit weird, but for the vast majority, this isn't the case. 9 till 5 should be just standard. You should be in the studio at 9 and you should be working till 5. It was a shock to my system, it'll be a shock to yours. Try and get into it now, and I guarantee that if I could go back to the beginning of my 3rd year and actually just do 9-5 and actually work in that 9-5, my project would have been 700% better. That is just a fact. Like, please believe me in this. And it's just something you should all work on. Okay, point 3. Please don't massacre me for what I'm about to say, but it's true. University is not the reason that your projects suck. University is not the reason that you aren't doing well in game design, and university was not the reason that you can't get a job. University is there to give you the tools. Yes, I'll give you an example. Like, during my university, the PCs we had weren't the best. Like, they just weren't. Does that mean that we couldn't do the work that was necessary? At times, it did have some blockages, I won't lie, but I'd say 99% of the people who put in the work are either now in the industry, doing really well, or absolutely smashing masters out of the park. And a lot of the people I know who sing the siren song of, I didn't do well on my course because I didn't do well in game design because of my course. A, no one's going to really believe you, because there's people who are doing absolutely amazing and they never even went to university. And B, it says a lot more about your mental than the university. Like, your mental should be like, because even if your university really is bad, and if your university really was bad at teaching game design, I doubt the course would be there to begin with. How's anyone going to hear that from like an interview perspective and be like, oh, so that's the reason you've got 1 project and not 20? 20 is an over-exaggeration, you don't need 20. But you get my point. You get in what you put out. So put in the effort, talk to friends, collab, do game jams, you'll get there, I promise. Okay, so this is a bit of a jump cut, but there's just one thing I forgot to talk about when originally recording this. And that's if you're not confident during your third year, I'm just going to show you what my level design used to look like compared to what it looks like now. It still isn't that good at all, but what I'm trying to say is practice makes perfect.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Before I go on to the job hunting side, and that's more to do with what you do with your projects. You will get recommended from your tutors to do certain projects and to stay away from certain projects. My advice is do whatever you want to do if it is related to a company you are going to be applying for. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to make a third-person shooter banking to go to a place like Ubisoft and then get turned down because then you're screwed. But you should definitely go with what you want to do and you are most passionate about. Or you're just going to lose motivation and you're not going to want to do it. You're going to do 3 months of work on a game that your tutor told you to do and then hate it. Like, I was basically told maybe not to do a D&D game, and it was difficult at times, but I had a load of fun doing it. I thought it was great. And if there was anybody in like my personal life who didn't think it was like a great idea, that didn't really matter, and it shouldn't matter to you either, because you're doing something you care about and you're doing something that you want to like have fun with at the end of the day. We're making games, you know, say that out loud. We're making games and we're doing stuff for game design. It should be fun. Don't put yourself into a rabbit hole of something you don't want to do, because you hate it, and you'll hate your last year, and your last year should be the best year you have, and it should be the shining example of what you did at university. Okay, so now we're into the post-university stage. Oh god. So when I graduated from UCLAM, I applied to 2 companies. These companies I thought I stood a very good chance of getting a job at. Guess what? I didn't get those jobs. And I was heartbroken. I was demoralized. I didn't want to do any work. I could give you the swan song like for everything I did. I'm not going to. But what did I do? So many people I know, when they finish university, if they've not done a master's, just stop doing personal work. They just stop doing it straight away. And this is the worst thing that you could possibly do. You need to keep that 9-5 mentality, because if you've like moved back home, odds are, I know a lot of people, it depends if you get a job. If you get a job, it's a bit different. Try and squeeze 1 or 2 hours in a day after work, because you don't want to be doing that job, you want to do game design. Tell yourself that. Like if you're working in Asda, if you're working in Aldi, if you're working in game, get home, put that badge on your desk in front of you and say, this is what I'm working away from. I want to work in the gaming industry. I don't want to do this. There's your motivation. You know, put the hours in, put the effort in, and get it done. You don't want to be doing this. You want to do game design. That's why you went to university and did 3 years of it. Okay? So let's put this thinking hat on and get it done. If you don't have a job, it's even easier. Well, it's not, but you get the point. 9-5. Get those projects done. Get those projects pumping. If you're a designer and it's around Blocktober, Blocktober should be your biggest work week to make connections and all this kind of stuff. And try and get your projects just on the roll. You fall out, like, they say that if a professional footballer, for example, doesn't do any exercise for a week, he's deemed unfit to do football. Same with design. If you don't do design for a few months, you're going to lose all those skills. Or not lose them, but you'll certainly be out of whack. So keep up to date with it. And when I interviewed at Splash Damage, the first time I had an interview at Splash, I actually got declined, and I was like, oh man, like this sucks. Back to the grind. They then called me back, and during that interview, I'd made a game for Blocktober, a Count Dracula level. That was one of the main reasons I think I passed the interview, because I showed that I was still doing work, not only between interviews, but post-university. Showed that I cared about what I wanted to do. And this is the mindset you should all be in. So, I understand there's a lot of things that come into making a project. You've got like burnout, motivation, all sorts of stuff, which I'll cover in another video. But this all leads back as well into a similar way of what I was saying earlier. your motivation on your projects is based as well on how you look after yourself in your personal life. So, look after yourself and the rest will follow. I guarantee it. So look, I know that this video has been a little bit all over the place, but I really just think a lot of people in their third year and right now in the situation of looking for jobs, it's some of the stuff they just need to hear. So I'm going to be making more of these videos, and I'm also going to be speaking to people in the industry and friends of mine personally that have been having rough situations and how they got out of them. But if you have any questions or just want to contact me, and I'd be more than happy to try and help. On Twitter, it's Simi339, and on LinkedIn, it's just Jacob Simpson. I don't mind at all. I'll happily take the time to help you with anything to do with level design. If it's not level design, I can't really help you because I'm awful. Sorry, but that's the truth. But anything to do with level design, I'll try and help. And anything in terms of looking for a job, I'm more than happy to try and help as well. You know, this community needs to be a bit stronger together instead of pushing each other away. And that's kind of like one of the main points behind this video. So, I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope you all have a great day. Adios.